Folks, listen up. If you have heard about AI, if you are confused about AI, or if you're saying, you know what, I need to use AI in my business, this is your guy. This is the talk. Welcome, Evan. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy Thursday. How are you?
Listen, man, you I love all you're doing. Everywhere I'm telling you. I'm on LinkedIn, Evan's there. I'm on Facebook, Evan's there. You just had a you just had a great blog post about is all feedback helpful or something?
Is all feedback a gift?
Ooh,
Is all
that's so
feedback a
good.
gift?
That's so
Yeah.
good. All right. Well, listen, we're gonna hit some really important topics today. You had a book come out in 2021 and it has done a lot of great things. In fact, Dan Sullivan at Strategic Coach, they just handed it out to all their top level clients. That says a lot, by the way. How did that feel for the world's foremost entrepreneur coach to hand out your book to his top clients? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think mostly I'm grateful that they trusted the message, that they appreciated the message, and I'm just grateful for their partnership and I'm grateful for everything that Coach does.
Oh, me too. Well, listen, anytime, even before Dan pointed to you, we were already doing things together because you're from Mansfield originally ish area, right?
Yep. Yep.
And
Ohio's a great place.
it is. And I mean, I've taken groups up to the Shawshank Redemption since 2014, and you lived right up there. But now you're a world traveler. Life has changed.
Yes.
You're one of the front early people on AI. In fact, we invited you to our conference years ago because you were talking about AI when I thought it was cool, but it really hadn't tipped the popularity scale yet. What's happened in the last 24 months for this thing to like blow up?
ChatGPT has certainly helped a lot. I think that ChatGPT has a real wow factor
Mm,
with it. It's the first time that I think people are able to sort of experiment with different ways of using technology
mm,
as a toy,
yeah.
and it's kind of the wild west of technology right now. And ChatGPT is the wild west of products. When you type something into it, you never know what you're going to get back out,
Yeah,
and so
that's
it
right.
makes it really addictive and really fun to experiment and try different things.
We're going to get into some very practical things that people can start doing to implement AI and have a better work experience. But before we do that, I saw on Twitter, now X, some things this week that I haven't been able to keep up because we were just chatting, lots happening in our worlds. But is it called Grok? Grok?
Mhm.
Uh, So like something happened where he's integrating AI into X now. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so I don't know everything about it, but what I do know is that X has come out with their own kind of competitor to ChatGPT,
Mm,
and developers will be able to build products and platforms on top of it, and it'll be trained using a lot of stuff from Twitter and tweets from Twitter along with other things,
wow.
and it remains to be seen how Elon and the team will really sort of deploy it, but it seems like it's Elon's way of making sure that this technology becomes open source and available to everybody, um,
Yeah.
as fast and as cheaply as possible.
I listen to Elon and I'm not saying I follow everything he says, but he asked for a moratorium on AI a little while back.
Yeah.
But then he revealed while he was telling the whole world to, "Hey, it's dangerous and don't, uh, don't keep experimenting." And then he shortly after revealed, "But I'm working on it."
Yeah.
And he, of course, was part of the OpenAI original, I believe. So we met in France, and in France, you trained my clients on AI. It was their favorite session. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
appreciate that.
I'm not gonna lie. They said more about you than me. That's okay. I'm secure.
I'm glad that they learned something.
Oh, there's us right there. So we're in
Yeah.
France. We're in France. We're at the world's oldest cafe, or not the world's France's oldest cafe. Remember that lady? She was telling us like literally Voltaire and Napoleon. I mean, I don't know, crazy stuff. I can't remember all of her stories, but it was
Yeah, Marie Antoinette was there for a period of time, and she was
it
writing
was
letters to the French from tables there. That was
it
crazy.
was it was amazing. But here we are, and you're teaching my people, my clients about AI. You basically asked us to do an inventory, and you said, "Hey, what are you doing right now? What that you don't like doing, or what was your
Yep.
grid on that whole thing?"
What are you doing right now that's boring and that you don't like doing? And then the next step is, well, why don't we try to hand that to a computer? Um, I think, yeah, kind of taking a step backwards, everybody wants to have their own definition of AI,
Mm,
and everybody wants to use the flashy, sexy terms with AI, and they want to talk about ChatGPT and generative AI and all sorts of stuff that kind of makes people's heads spin. And I think that if you simplify what AI is a little bit, it becomes a lot easier to understand. And if you simplify the definition, it's just computers doing a thing that humans used to do. And
wow.
so where we started with your team was, why don't we just start handing computers tasks that you're
Mm.
doing now that you hate to do? Like, what if you just did fun stuff and you stopped doing boring stuff?
So you don't think that AI is gonna take away our jobs and, destroy humanity. You're basically saying it's gonna free up people to do what they love. You view it as a positive.
Well, what if I took you back to the 1950s and I said, in 2023, you'll be able to do a live stream event with me where we won't be in the same state in the country. We'll be thousands of miles away. We'll be able to see each other. Other people will be able to watch us, and it'll all be free. But in the process, all 1.5 million telephone switchboard operators will lose their jobs. Would you believe that for a period of time we had record low unemployment? Like, of
Wow.
course not. And people's jobs have gotten more creative. They've gotten more fulfilling over time. We start talking about things like, is your job fulfilling to you?
Mm.
And in other parts of the world, they don't care quite as much about if the job is fulfilling. They care about having food on the table. They care about making sure that they're providing a living for their family. And so I absolutely think that AI will be a tool that makes more careers fulfilling, that makes more careers enjoyable, that makes more jobs kind of really pushing the needle forward for customers, for stakeholders, for whoever it is that that individual serves at the end of the day.
That's a great analogy. So your point is basically that we lost switchboard telephone operators because the technology became obsolete, but we found new jobs for people that are more fulfilling. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, and we don't have enough jobs. Or we don't have enough people for the jobs that we have,
That's
and
the truth.
ultimately, and so what AI is going to do is just allow us to continue that growth process.
Wow. Wow.
I also think that if you think about AI through the lens really of just taking stuff that people don't like to do and getting it to computers, it's merely an extension of the printing press. Before the printing press, there was
Like
just humans
scribes.
writing stuff,
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And then the printing press comes along, and now you have a piece of technology that can do stuff faster and easier. And it's the same with, you used to have a filing cabinet, and now you just use Google Drive or OneDrive or Dropbox. And so if you consider it to be a natural extension of that, I
Mm.
think it really de-risks and demystifies what AI is and what it can be. Whether you're using generative AI or conventional code or neural networks or machine learning, that's all just tools on a tool belt. What we're trying to do is we're just trying to take boring, repetitive stuff and give it to humans.
I think you're onto something. I took a role at Cedarville, and the big thing in teaching higher academics, literally in August, we were having meetings where articles were coming out saying AI can now complete a 4-year degree, AI can complete a medical degree. And there was this worry, but not at Cedarville. And surprisingly, they said, hey guys, listen, kind of like your approach. This is another tool. And so we actually had to put in our syllabus for every class a note about AI, how it was either going to be treated or allowed, not allowed, or used. So basically, I told my class, I teach digital marketing, and I said, use it. I said, go use it because A, it's going to be a tool. B, if you're really good at digital marketing, you're going to become necessary, and AI is going to basically be an assistant to you. And if you're bad at marketing, it'll take over your job.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think as an educator, if the AI is the future, and I think everybody can agree that AI as it is right now is clearly leading us into the future, then we're doing a disservice to people by saying don't use the AI.
Yeah.
I think the better service to the educators or to everybody who's learning how to use this AI, or is trying to transition from the old way of doing things to the new way of doing things is instead of saying we're going to like kind of keep the same standards and we're going to eliminate the tools that you're allowed to use,
Mm.
raise the standards for what the output need to be, but you get to use the tools.
Wow. I love that. I love that. So I'm going to ask you to take us in a little bit. I love that grid that you gave us that said what jobs are boring that you don't like, that are mundane, and then let's hand those to AI. By the way, Tanisha, I'm going to ask you to come back into the chat and reconnect. By the way, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, X, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn. But we had a couple channels just disconnect. That's the technology, man. So we're going to reconnect those. But talk to us, Evan, about your team because your team is blown up. It's grown. You launched this book in 21, but we recently reoptimized it and really we think you're reaching more people now. So what's
Yeah.
up with your team? I'm going to take people to your website right now. It's called Teammate AI, and it's literally teammateai.com. But what are we looking at, and what are the offers that you have if people are like, man, I gotta I gotta pay attention.
Yeah, so our team is really focused around optimizing processes and
Mm.
then automating them.
Ooh,
So
that's good.
optimizing the stuff that people do that they shouldn't be doing. Optimizing the boring stuff. You wake up on Monday morning, oh gosh, I don't want to go into the office and do this thing that I've done every year for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I love
Instead,
it.
let's hand that over to the computer. And that's all we want to do. All we want to do is free up humans to do more creative, fascinating, interesting work. And I think that's where there's a big mistake right now with what a lot of people are reading, what a lot of people are seeing is they're seeing AI do creative stuff, like ChatGPT doing blog writing, ChatGPT generating images, ChatGPT writing books, doing podcasts, and then humans are doing repetitive stuff. Well, what if we had the AI do the repetitive stuff and then the humans were the ones that were really creating deep, meaningful relationships, that were really crushing it with customers, that were making and building amazing content libraries. And so we really focus on just helping customers identify the boring, repetitive, mundane stuff that they're doing
So good.
and then free it up.
So good. I look at your testimonies, I look at your success stories. I know a lot of these people. It's awesome to see you working with Mark LaChance, Maxi Media. We published Mark's book and his wife's book, but man, you're doing some seriously cool stuff, and you want to automate 10 million
10
hours
million hours, 10 million human hours by 2030. Yes.
because you believe that it's not going to steal jobs, but it's going to free up people to actually do jobs they love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Wow.
I think that companies grow because their teamwork grows. They
Okay.
grow because their employees are growing. And by having AI free up the boring, the companies grow because humans are growing.
That's so good. Wow. So, I mean, I'm in publishing and, I see publishers all worried. In fact, I saw a post the other day, something like this. I mean, it was something to this effect. Well, authors, it was a great run, but now AI is going to write books. And I tell people, not a chance. Like, in other words, we've had a few authors hand us manuscripts and say, hey, I just had ChatGPT write it. What do you think? And we look at it and we're like, dude, do you like your brand? And they say yes. And then,
Yeah.
and then we say,
Yeah.
we're like, you do not want to put this book out because this book has no human story arc. It has no emotion. Fine, use ChatGPT for some, but if you literally are just going to publish a ChatGPT book, why? Like people can just go to the internet for free and get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can just get the information. So I think it's actually for AI, and what do you think about this, Evan? AI is forcing people to get better.
Yes. Yes. It is a forcing function to improve people's performance, forcing people to perform. And I think the easiest way is to describe it is actually ChatGPT.
Mm,
The more that people use ChatGPT to generate marketing materials, like books or blog posts or emails or other things, the further damage they do to their reputation because everybody sees it. And it
mm,
doesn't like everybody can already understand. Wait a
yeah,
second, I think this was written by AI. Wait a second, this doesn't kind of seem right. And I think that with writing in particular, but really with all creative activities,
yeah,
people think that the creative activity, the output of the creative activity, and the work that it required, kind of hands to keys, typing or clicking buttons, that is really where the value is created in that creative activity. That's not the case. Where the value is created in the creative activity is in having clarity of thought
mm,
and being able to clearly communicate an idea and being able to understand kind of the mindset
that's
that the
good.
person who's understanding or who's receiving your messages is kind of coming to you from.
It's so
And so
good.
sometimes AI is the option, but if you're just using AI to kind of generate the output, you're not generating an output that connects with anybody.
Yeah. And I agree with you where something feels off. Like the
Yes.
other day, I saw a picture and something just felt off. It was like about the Middle East and all this stuff. And then someone commented, "Are children supposed to have 6 fingers?" And in other words, I took a deeper look at it, and I mean, I don't know, what is it called? What's it called? Mid
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 journey.
Midjourney.
Yep.
So Midjourney, is it true that, like, it always produces people with 6 fingers? I don't know, but, like, that's a way that you, at least right now, can tell that it's AI generated, and it wasn't real. It wasn't real. The
Yeah.
picture felt off, and then once somebody confirmed it, you're like, "Oh, yeah." And I'm seeing this, whether it's an email and you get dear friend or like dear blank, and they're just putting it in there. I mean, if I do a Loom video where I do a mass email and I'm like, hey guys, personal video, and I'm just sitting there and I'm pouring out my heart and I'm giving the video, that video gets so many views versus somebody just saying, hey, ChatGPT, write an interesting email.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that that's where a lot of people are kind of confused. I think where the computer is supposed to do work for you is in the background.
Ah,
It's supposed to be your backstage. It's
backstage. Ooh,
it's
strategic
making
work.
sure
Yeah.
absolutely. It's making sure that your company's running well every single day. It's running like a well-oiled machine. The front
Ah,
stage is supposed to be human.
interesting.
And when people try to put the computer in the front stage, it feels to me, and maybe I'm alone in this, but it feels to me like they almost like their customers are a little bit of a distraction, or their customers are not the people that they really want to serve. They really want to serve
Ooh,
themselves or their team.
that's good.
Their customers are
That's
an
good.
afterthought. Whereas if you put your best people front stage and you reinvest in your front stage and making that more human,
Yeah.
you can put the technology in the backstage and
See
everybody
that?
wins.
Oh, this is deep. You're onto something, man, because, like, I don't mind at all my doctor or dentist using prompts, automation to remind of, meetings, appointments. I actually like it. I like the fact that I get a text the day before that, and I just got one, "Your daughter, don't forget her dentist appointment." I like those things, but you can automate the humanity out of certain roles. Now,
Yes.
my dentist is actually freed up now to do better practice on
Yeah.
those. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the good dentist or doctor, correct?
Yeah, well, and you don't care if you get a personal email saying, "Hey, come in," or you just get an automated email saying, "Hey,
Right.
here's your reminder," right? It's all it is a quick conveying of information.
Yes.
But by your dentist doing that, now you can sit or your daughter can sit in the chair knowing that your dentist isn't thinking about needing to go and do this thing.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good, man. Listen, all right, we got a few minutes left. I think everybody should have this book. In fact, I get multiple copies and hand them out.
Thank you.
I just handed one out at my mastermind fire ring 2 weeks ago. And we brought you to France and you did amazing. But you are a world traveler. I love it. Why should people get this book? And again, I have no problem asking an author this because the book is not about Evan. It's not about his team. It's about serving you. So I'm just going to say, speak unfiltered and tell us why. What happens if we don't get this book?
Yeah, so I think people like Peter Diamandis. I love Peter Diamandis.
Oh
He
yeah.
he goes on stage, he goes on podcasts, he does videos, and he says that there will be two kinds of companies in the world by 2030: companies that are using AI and companies that are out of business.
Wow.
And and there's a big gap, I think, for a lot of people between what Silicon Valley says and does with AI and what the average kind of company or what a non-technical company or what a middle America company or anybody who's not in high tech says, "Oh, wait a second, what can I do with AI?" And this book is really aiming to be a starting place. It's really aiming to just frame your thought around how any company can use AI to enhance their teamwork, to enhance their business, and ultimately grow your business without necessarily needing to grow your headcount. And so this is really kind of the first step in making AI practical and real for you.
Mm, it's so good. So this is almost like a great place to start.
It's a perfect place to start. And it's short. It only takes a few hours to read, mostly because I didn't want to edit a really long, complicated technical book. And it's a
Mhm.
very, very, very easy read. It's not technical. It's aimed at business owners who don't really understand how software works or who understand a little bit, but they're not running a software company, and helping everybody get up to speed on exactly how you can get started with AI.
So good. What what's a client that has come to you, maybe don't share their name, but like a client that's come to you and you've given them a result. Like what's kind of the before and after?
Yeah, so we have a lot of clients that come to us and they have a common problem. The leadership really wants to grow. They really want to grow 10 times, but they couldn't possibly bear the idea of 10 timesing their payroll, 10 timesing their headcount,
Ah,
and they have too many customers to manage. So we have clients in the HR space and in the finance space and in the wealth management space, and a lot of professional services that come and they say, "Can you please help us automate our back office?" When a new customer signs up, we have to create all sorts of accounts for them. We have to
mm,
send them all sorts of emails and communications. We have to populate all sorts of documents. Could a computer populate all those documents for us?
hmm,
Could it create those accounts for us and eliminate our data entry? Could it not only eliminate our data entry, but could it also increase the percentage of new customers that come in and we have no mistakes, we have no errors, and everything
mm,
runs better? Especially if you're talking about payroll management and benefits management and all sorts of things like that. One a customer fills out one form, but you have to create many accounts. You have to fill out many documents. How
yeah.
many mistakes are being made? How many things are being missed? Could an AI do it the same way every time?
Oh,
We usually save 100, 200, 500 hours per year per customer, simply by
wow.
automating the boring, repetitive stuff.
I love it when I'm ready to buy something and I don't have to re-enter my credit card again, you know? You know what I'm talking about? Or my shipping address. So, here's what's interesting, I used to be a pastor and, when I said this summer, "Hey," and I don't know if you saw that message I gave, but, I basically said, "I'm about ready to speak on technology and AI." And I
I
said,
did,
"Wh"
yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I said, "What do you think I should talk on, and are you in support or disagreement?" Man, you talk about a split view. I had people that said, AI is of Satan. AI is I mean, they were trying to literally justify all these scripture verses that say AI is anti. And then
Mhm.
I had other people who said, we're translating the Bible in foreign languages and AI is helping us go faster than ever. And we're getting people the word of God, in yours faster and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
wow. And what do you say to somebody like that who literally, first of all, the
It's
person.
so simple. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah. What
simple.
do you say? What do you say?
It's it's that there's a disconnect in what AI is. AI is
Uh,
artificial intelligence. It's not artificial wisdom.
okay.
And so we're not replacing the wisdom of humanity. We're not trying to recreate wisdom. We're not trying to create new wisdom.
Yeah.
We're just making computers really smart, and we're
Wow.
making computers really capable.
Wow.
Same process that's been going on since the dawn of time. Technology makes humans more capable to do better things for more people.
So good. Last question, and then I'm gonna tell everyone to get your book again because oh my gosh. And it's coming out on audio soon. So
Yes.
there's that
Yes.
too. But I would say the person who says, "Oh, I'm not gonna use AI, I'm
Mhm.
against it." Tell us, if you just had a guess, how much by us just being on the internet and being consumers in stores and having doctors and dentists, how much are we really using AI, even the people who don't think they are, on a daily basis? Do you
Everybody
think?
is using AI dozens of times, hundreds of times every single day.
Wow, see,
Whether
that's
Yeah,
it, man. That's it.
everybody is already using it. It's just the new stuff is just an extension.
See, I want people to realize that, like, I'll start typing an email and it'll finish what I'm about to say. You can't even not use AI if you wanted to these days.
Yeah, you really can't. You really can't. Even like going back to the telephone switchboard operators, even if you have a flip phone, your call is automatically routed to the right person.
Interesting. Interesting. I think I think I might have lost him. Let me bring him back and
Uh-oh.
forth. Oh, I
Uh-oh.
got you. I
I'm
got you.
here.
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
You cannot go about your day without using AI. When you tap or you swipe your credit card using
So good.
AI.
It's so good.
Yes, security cameras are using AI. Everybody is using AI all the time.
Wow. Folks, you gotta get the book. I would tell people not why should you, but why shouldn't you? This you've already heard is relevant. You've already heard it's gonna help you save time, and time is money. So I think everybody needs to get this book. Evan, I'm so glad you republished it and you've optimized it, and I'm just excited to watch all that you're doing, my friend.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. All right, take care, everybody, and go get AI as your teammate. Have a great day. We'll see you.
See ya.